Hello, this is Yogeshwar again, and I'm back with another very interesting video. And this will discuss about a very important topic called Panch Vargeeya Bala. Now, as you know, that we've been discussing about various balas in our previous videos. We did discuss about the Shad Bala, which is a part of the Parashari system, Sage Parashara. We did discuss about the other bala called something called a Harsha Bala, which is more on the Tajik system. Tajik is I may have mentioned in my previous video, it originated in the Middle East and it is mostly used for the Varshapala or the annual horoscope or horary or Prashna chart, but it's used in general predictions as well, general chart predictions as well. So I explained the earlier Harsha Bala in my earlier video, and today we will be discussing on Panchavargeeya Bala, which is again not on the Parashari system, it is more on the Tajik system. And once again, Tajik is an astrological system which originated somewhere in the Middle East, somewhere where present day Tajikistan is, and it moved into India, and especially with the foreign raiders who have been coming in raiding India, they used to bring a bunch of astrologers with them, and they used to do more horary, which is Prashna, or annual horoscope, which is the Varshapala. But then, like I said, it's also used in the general astrology as well. So Panchavargeeya Bala. And why is Bala so important? And we'll have a separate video on that, why Bala is so important. Because the stronger a planet, it has the capability of giving good results, and a weaker a planet, it does not have that capability. On the contrary, a weak planet will give bad results. So it is imperative that a planet stays strong, or it is strong, to be able to provide its best effects and results. And we know that out of the 9 planets, not all can be strong or not all can be weak. So we have a bunch of strong planets which give good effects, and we have weak planets which are a problem area. So Bala has been given, Bala, which in Sanskrit means strength, has been given a lot of importance in Vedic astrology, because of the fact that the stronger a planet, the better it is to be able to provide the results. So Panchavargeeya Bala is another tool to find out what planet is strong in our chart and what kind of a result it'll give in its dasha. And also, like I said, since it's based on the Tajik system, it gives more importance on the annual horoscope, which is the Varshapala. So what kind of a planet will be able to give maximum benefit in an annual horoscope for the year which we draw a chart for? And also, what planet can give maximum results if we draw a Prashna chart or a horary chart? So there are 5 components to the Panchavargeeya Bala. As you see, Pancha means 5, and these different kinds of balas add up to the Panchavargeeya Bala. And I'm going to go briefly, because I don't want to go deep into it, because if you go too much deep into it, you'll be busy calculating. I'll just give you some basic idea as to where it's coming from. So for example, if we go to the first component, it is the Griha Kshetra Bala, as you see on the screen here. And that Bala is basically calculated based on what the placement of that planet is, in what house it is placed. So, and then and the rules here will not apply to the Parashari system. The rules here will apply mostly to the Tajik. Tajik is Tajik. Like I said, it originated somewhere in the Middle East and came to India. And so the rules will be slightly different here. But then as a component, Griha Bala is nothing but a Bala which is determined by the location, and the maximum points of a planet is acquired when it is sitting in its own house. And if it is sitting in another house which is not a friendly house, then it gets lower points. So Bala of the Graha or the Kshetra is calculated based on that. Now, in the Tajik system, the rules are that a planet which is sitting in house number 3, 5, 9, and 11 are friendly houses. So it'll get good points based on that. And houses number 1, 4, 7, and 10 are not good, which will have the planet acquire less points. And houses number 2, 6, 8, and 12 are neutral. So these are basic different rules which are followed by Tajik astrologers. And the points are given based on that. So the maximum points a planet can get if it's sitting in its own sign is 30 units, and if it's sitting in an enemy sign, it is 7.5 units. So that Bala is determined on whether it's sitting in its own sign. Rather, I may have mentioned house earlier, so I'm correcting myself. It is basically what sign the planet is placed. So that is one kind of a Bala which you see. The second kind of a Bala is Ucha Bala. Now Ucha, as you know, means in Sanskrit it is called Ucha, but in English it can be called exaltation. So this Bala is determined based on whether the planet is in deep exaltation or deep debilitation. Now here the rules are pretty similar as compared to the Parashari or Sage Parashara system, that the exaltation signs and the debilitation signs are not different in Tajik system. It's the same. For example, Aries, sun gets exalted as per Parashar. So as per Tajik also, the planet sun will get exalted in Aries and get debilitated in Libra. So the rules here are different, and the points here are based on whether a planet is in deep exaltation or deep debilitation. A planet in deep exaltation will get 20 points, and a planet in deep debilitation gets 0 points. So this is pretty standard. I think people who do not know about exaltation and debilitation, please refer to my video on exaltation and debilitation. It's pretty standard. And the Ucha Bala is based on the exaltation and debilitation of planets. The third type of a Bala is Whoda Bala, as you can see on the screen. And Whoda Bala is basically there are 30 degrees in one zodiac sign, and each zodiac sign is divided into 5 parts with a specific number of degrees. And degrees is nothing but Whoda. Whoda is probably a Middle Eastern name for degrees. So there are rules as to based on what division of that particular zodiac sign out of the 5 divisions which we just discussed, that will make 5 divisions of a zodiac sign. So what planet gets maximum point under that particular division is determined, and that is used to calculate the maximum points or minimum points. And so there are 5 Hudas, just like there is a Navansha, 9 Navanshas, there are 5 Hudas. And there are rules as to what planet in what Huda will get maximum points or minimum points. Who would be lord of that Huda? Like a first Huda, second Huda, third Huda, fourth Huda, fifth Huda, out of the 30 degrees, who will be lord in the first Huda, who will be lord in the second Huda, who will be lord in the third Huda. So similarly, these are, and sun and moon, by the way, do not own any Huda. Rahu and Ketu also do not own any Huda. So these are just 5 planets, excluding the sun and moon and Rahu and Ketu, which is Jupiter, Saturn, Mercury, Mars, and Venus. So there are rules, and the planet acquires their points based on which Huda out of the, like I mentioned, there are 5 Hudas in one zodiac sign. So they will acquire points on that. The maximum points are worked out as the planet which the highest Whoda Bala gets 15 points, and the lowest will get lower points. So this is this is a determination of Bala when we calculate the third component, which we just discussed, which is the Whoda Bala. Now we go to the fourth component, which is the Drakana Bala. Drakana means, as you know, in the zodiac sign there are 30 degrees, so Drakana is 1/3 of that 30 degrees, which is 10 degrees each. So there are again rules as per the Tajika system that what will be the lords of those Drakana, which means who will be the lords of that 10 degree out of the 30 degrees, and what planets are sitting in those lords, those Drakanas. So say for example a planet is sitting in the first Drakana, which is lorded by a particular sign, or a particular sign which is a friendly sign or an enemy sign. So based on whether the zodiac sign is friendly or enemy, the points are allocated. Meaning which, say for example, if Mars is sitting in the first Drakana of Aries, and the lord of that first Drakana is Mars itself, then Mars gains maximum points. Similarly, if Mars is sitting in the second Drakana of Aries, where the lord is Sun, and Sun of course is a friend to Mars, then of course again Mars will get good points, although it may not get maximum points as compared to when it was sitting in the first Drakana. And if it goes into the third Drakana of the zodiac sign of Aries, where the lord is Venus in this case, and if Mars is sitting in the third Drakana, it gets lower points. Why? Because the lord Venus of the third Drakana is not a friend to Mars. So these are pretty much standard rules again. So the Drakana Bala is calculated based on that, and in that a maximum points you can get is 10 units if a planet is in a friendly Drakana, and or its own Drakana. And then if it's in a friendly Drakana, it gets 7.5 units. In a neutral Drakana, it gets 5 units, and in an enemy Drakana, it can only get 2.5 units of that strength or Bala. So this was the fourth component. And the fifth component, as you can see on the screen, like I said, I'm not going to go into a lot of details and explaining you through charts as to how to calculate it. I'm just giving you a basic idea of how these components are calculated, so that you're not stuck with a mathematical calculation. All you have to do is zip it into an astrological chart, put the input into an astrological chart, and you'll get the output of the Panch Vargeeya Bala, the total Panch Vargeeya Bala. But it was important for me to explain you what these components are. And the fifth important Bala, which is a component of the Panch Vargeeya Bala, is the Navamsha Bala. And we all know Navamsha is D9. So the planet in its own Navamsha gets 5 units of the Bala. Friendly Navamsha gets 3.75 units of the Bala. In a neutral Navamsha, it gets 2.5 units of a Bala. Bala, of course, means strength, as we've discussed earlier. And if it's sitting in an enemy Navamsha, it only gets 1.25 units of the Bala. So based on what Navamsha, and Navamsha is a zodiac sign divided into 9 parts, as we've discussed. People who do not know what a Navamsha is, please refer to my video on Navamsha. So a planet will acquire Bala based on what Navamsha or what division of that zodiac sign it is sitting. And how to calculate a Navamsha is explained, like I said, in detail in my earlier video on Navamsha. So all these Balas or points which a planet acquire, as you can see on the screen under these 5 components, add up to the Panch Vargeeya Bala, and then the Panch Vargeeya Bala is divided by 4 to what we get as a Vishwa Bala. That's just the way how it is represented in a chart. So Vishwa Bala, any Vishwa Bala number which you see on the chart or on an astrological software resultant, you will you will see that if a Vishwa Bala is more than 15, the planet is extremely strong. So it has the capability of giving extremely good results. If the Vishwa Bala is between 10 to 15 units, then it is very strong, and however not as strong as if the bala or the strength is more than 15, but it still has the capability of giving good results. And if the Vishwa Bala is between 5 and 10 units, then it's kind of mediocre. And if the Vishwa Bala is less than 5 units, the planet is very weak. So when you look at a chart, look at your astrological chart, look at the Panch Vargeeya Bala and see what the points are. And then if you see that the points are less than 5, then the planet is extremely weak and it cannot give good results. So then remedies have to be followed. You have to consult an expert Vedic astrologer. But like I said, this is Tajik system. It was predominantly used for Varshapala or annual horoscope, or Prashna, which is horary. But then it is also used for general readings and analysis as we go into our dashas, as to what planets are giving what results in our entire lifetime as well. So do not ignore that. But like I said, this is just one of the tools, just like a Harshabala is one of the tool, which is also based on the Tajik system. Panch Vargeeya Bala is also one of the tools, which is also based on the Tajik system. And as per the Parashari system, we have seen Shadbal, which is the sixth fold strength of a planet, that also has to be taken into consideration. So all these factors, slowly and gradually, as you keep learning as to what these tools are, and you have to look at the planets from all angles and from all aspects. And mostly, if you look at more and more into detail and look at the planet in different ways, then you will have a better idea as compared to if you just look at a planet, just look at the main Rashi chart and without going into these details. So I thought it was very important, very interesting, and hopefully you enjoyed this video. And I will be back with another topic. In the meanwhile, I'll recommend please subscribe to my channel and visit my website. There's a link below, and I'll see you soon. Thank you.